Good afternoon. Welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host, Eddie, and in today's video, I'll be doing my film review for the movie 10 Cloverfield Lane, which opened in theaters last night. I saw it, and I gotta tell you guys, it was great. Now, before I start blabbering on and on like I always do, because I've got a big mouth, uh, be warned that this movie review will be full of spoilers. This is a spoiler-filled review for the movie 10 Cloverfield Lane. So if you've not seen the movie yet, go and watch it. It's amazing. And then once you have seen it, come back and listen to and watch this review video. So this is your last warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew, what a good one, guys. What a good one. You know what was so interesting about it is that the setting was simple. You had three people holed up in a doomsday bunker, and some people might think to themselves, how interesting can you make a movie about three people holed up in a bunker while the world is virtually destroyed on the outside and they don't know what's going on? Well, the answer is you can make it extremely interesting. You've got interesting characters, you've got dire circumstances, everything that makes this a perfect survival drama, which is what appealed to me personally, is that when I first saw the trailers and the teasers for this movie, I'm like, ooh, this looks like another survival drama, along the lines of a zombie apocalypse TV show or movie, or, anything like that. It had it had the big survival drama vibe to it, and it certainly was that. It was great. We saw, this woman who was literally running away from her problems while things slowly start to fall apart on the outside of the world. And she leaves her apartment, leaves her boyfriend, and next thing we know, she's hit by another car, goes flying off the road, and then she wakes up in this guy's bunker. It's incredible actor John Goodman, and well done, Mr. Goodman, well done. I mean, hats off to you. I mean, after the screening had ended and the credits were rolling, as soon as his name came up, we all just started applauding. I mean, wow, John Goodman really killed it in this movie. He absolutely nailed it as this disturbed, unsettling, dark, you know, older man who was a doomsday prepper, and he was like a former Navy guy so he had intel of military tactics and whatnot. And despite him being crazy, and as we find out later, a child kidnapper and a full-on murderer, he actually had some pretty important and good survival points, and in fact did save both Michelle and Emmett's life. That's the name of the other character who's in this movie along with Michelle and John Goodman, is Emmett, the young man who helped Howard, John Goodman's character, build the doomsday bunker. And what was so great about this movie is that it is incredibly tension-filled. And also, let me make one thing very clear, guys. I would classify this as a full-on thriller. Not necessarily a horror movie or a sci-fi movie. I would classify this as a thriller, a survival thriller. You've got people who are essentially trapped together. It's hard for them to trust one another, or at least to trust Howard, because he's so clearly nuts, and if he's not nuts, there's something definitely off with him. And what was so interesting about it is that at first, we were all led to believe maybe there is no doomsday scenario happening on the outside. Maybe there isn't a chemical gas or air or an airborne virus in the air that's killing everyone. Maybe Howard just told Michelle that to keep her trapped down there. And sure enough, she attempts to escape, but before she can breach the airlock, a clearly infected woman with abrasions all over her face and arms, and it looks like she's just got blisters all over the place and open wounds, appears at the door demanding to be let in, and Michelle realizes, this crazy guy trying to keep me prisoner here actually may have actually saved my life and was actually telling the truth. And for a while, we believed that. We were led to believe that. Halfway through the movie, we're like, oh, well, maybe Howard isn't the most approachable or friendly guy, but he does have everybody's best interests at heart, and they're all safe and sound in this bunker because he was, after all, telling the truth. But then, as they uncover more evidence that he's actually a kidnapping murderer, Emmett and Michelle start to come up with a plan. First of all, to basically disable Howard and then escape the bunker and try their chances on the outside. Unfortunately, because she wanted to be a clothing designer, she's able to design a basically a homemade biohazard suit for herself. And basically, the plan is for one of them to stay behind, keep an eye on Howard, keep him prisoner, like locked up, and then the other one would go for help. Unfortunately, Howard catches on to them, kills Emmett, and then Michelle basically is forced to finally escape once and for all. And it turns out, oh my god, what is the doomsday scenario? There has been an alien invasion, and the air is clean. It is not toxic, as Howard originally believed and told the other two. What it turns out to be is that there are alien patrol ships that spread this green toxic gas, which kills all living organisms, animals, and humans. And Howard, of course, showed the two dead pigs on the outside, but it looks like they were clearly ripped apart by some wild animal rather than dying from an airborne virus. And sure enough, there's these creepy, slug-looking alien monster thing running around in the cornfield while there's a patrol ship going by. Michelle has this great struggle as she tries to escape, but the patrol ship catches her, and it's actually not necessarily a machine, but an artificial bioorganic machine, because it's got tentacles and a beak like a squid, like a giant squid, and it tries to eat her. And fortunately, she has this thing of whiskey that she grabbed when she left her apartment, throws it in there, kills the alien ship, and then the whole bunker eventually blows up because of the combination of an exposed wire to this barrel of acid that was left out after she used it against Howard, because Howard killed poor Emmett with it. And I gotta say, I wasn't that surprised with Howard killing Emmett. I kind of saw it coming, because he was like, I accept your apology. And shoots him in the face with a pistol. We actually don't see him. Well, we see him shoot him, but we don't see Emmett's body fall to the ground or anything. We do see the utter look of shock and fear on Michelle's face. And what else this movie did such a good job of was they always kept the tension intact, and they did ease up on it occasionally, because there were some funny moments in the movie, genuinely funny moments, like right after she tries to escape, and then Howard is explaining to her, who that woman was, the bruised woman who tried to get in. He's like, I know I may come off as a sensible guy, but God, that was funny when he said that. And then they're just genuinely funny parts throughout the whole movie, and then the rest of it is pure thrills and excitements and uneasiness, and it overall made for a hell of a time, and I highly recommend it. 2 thumbs way up. Very much enjoyed it, and I highly recommend it to anybody else out there who is into the survival drama of that subgenre of film. I highly recommend it. And you know what the funniest thing was, is that it had absolutely nothing to do with Cloverfield. J.J. Abrams, the producer of this, said he considered it a distant cousin to Cloverfield. And I'm not really sure what that means, because first of all, this movie does not take place in New York like I thought it would, in the state of New York. It actually takes place in Louisiana. And of course, it's not a monster attack, but an alien invasion. So I don't think it had anything to do with the movie Cloverfield, other than the fact it had the name in it, which is what was so intriguing to so many people. And for those of you who were expecting it to be a sequel or a spin-off from Cloverfield, too bad. I'm really sorry, but you know what? I still think we got a pretty good movie out of this one, despite it not being attached to the first film. And we know where the title comes from. It is the title, it is the address of Howard's farmhouse. He had a farmhouse, and then he built the emergency bunker underneath that. And what was so interesting about Howard, John Goodman's character, is that he's this disturbed, murderous, borderline sociopath, but he's not completely heartless, because there's this father side to him where he clearly felt a loss of his child, of his daughter. She either left his life forever before the alien invasion, or she died right when it started. And then he saw an opportunity with Michelle, drove her off the road, brought her back to the bunker and thought, I have a replacement for my daughter now. Now I'll be happy. And at first, that's what he had at first with his first victim, because Michelle and Emmett halfway through the movie discover, wait a second, this is a photograph of a local missing girl. This is her bloody earring that they found on the window where she carved help. And obviously Howard had kidnapped her and then probably murdered her. And how they were asking themselves, what do you do with the body? He dumped her into the thing full of acid, which basically ate away all her flesh and eventually disintegrated her bones. So Howard was a murderer, but it's not that he was made that way. It's obvious, like, he clearly snapped, and that's what pushed him to it, and that's what, that's what partly drove him to build the Doomsday Bunker, because he wasn't some kind of sexual pervert who was kidnapping and raping women. He did kidnap the one girl because she probably reminded him of his actual daughter, and when he killed that girl because he probably felt like he had to, that's when he caught Michelle. That's when he kidnapped Michelle by driving her off the road and bringing her back to fix her up and then just keep her there permanently. So it was a very interesting movie and a very engaging and exciting and above all thrilling movie. It was very, very thrilling. So highly recommended. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you so much for watching this video here on the EdWord. And don't forget to follow the link in the description below to my newly created Facebook page, my official Facebook page. I hope you guys follow it. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of the weekend if I don't see you again. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.